believe that last part. I believe that the Browns are one of the rare teams in the NFL that's going to carry 4 quarterbacks, because I think they're looking at Joe Flacco as a safety net. You know, he's 40 years old. He's a veteran. He's a Super Bowl champion. He just took them to the playoffs a couple of years ago, and boom, you know what? They know that he can come in, whether as a starter or as a reserve, and help assuage concerns and fix what's broken to some degree.
Could Shedeur Sanders actually now be traded by the Browns?
Like, my job here isn't to prove people wrong. Like, I prove myself right.
With the sudden retirement of Derek Carr, it certainly looks that way. The Browns have too many quarterbacks on their roster. The Saints, not enough. And the Saints quarterback room looks like a boy band.
Shedeur Sanders has already proven all 32 NFL teams wrong. Shedeur Sanders has been the best quarterback in that room the entire offseason. Worst case scenario needs to be the QB2 heading into the regular season. All 32 NFL teams are going to say, we really let this guy slide down the draft because the media convinced us so. They're going to regret it for years to come.
Shedeur Sanders. The name alone sparks conversation in the NFL world. Right now, he's sitting in a Cleveland Browns quarterback room that looks more like a logjam than a pathway to greatness. Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and then Sanders, listed as QB4. That's a lot of talent crammed into one position group. But here's the thing. Sanders is not a QB4 type of guy. He's not a placeholder. He's not someone you stash on the bench. He's the type of player whose name should be echoing through stadiums, leading drives, and putting points on the board. The real question is simple. Why is he still waiting?
So Shedeur Sanders will play in the Browns preseason finale against the Rams on Saturday. Now, as it has been this entire time, he will be the final quarterback to enter the game. Kevin Stefanski said the starters will open the game with 20 to 25 snaps, which means Joe Flacco will start the game, and then Dillon Gabriel will take the reins after that, followed up finally by Shedeur Sanders to end the game. So for anybody holding out hope that Shedeur Sanders could somehow climb the depth chart with his performance against Carolina, that is not and was not ever going to happen. Shedeur Sanders is firmly planted at the bottom of the Browns depth chart, whether you think he should be or not.
The Browns may be tempted to keep 4 quarterbacks. Flacco is their safety net, a veteran presence who brings stability if things go wrong. That's the logic. But keeping 4 QBs is not good business. It's rare. It clogs your roster, and it creates tension instead of clarity. At some point, Cleveland has to decide, are they investing in the future, or are they holding on to the past? Because when you look at Sanders, you're not just seeing another rookie. You're seeing potential that's bursting at the seams. And holding on to Flacco while burying Sanders is like parking a Ferrari in the garage and never turning the engine on.
Play in the preseason finale when we talk about his future.
It's absolutely critical because the Cleveland Browns brass needs to be comfortable enough with Shedeur as their backup quarterback to move on from one of the guys that they have in their room. Now, it feels like the odd man out would be Kenny Pickett. He's a guy that they traded for this offseason. But on no uncertain terms do I think it's good business for the Cleveland Browns to carry 4 quarterbacks into the season. You have Joe Flacco, who is the steady veteran presence, but the objective for the Cleveland Browns this season should be to figure out what they have in these young quarterbacks, that being Shedeur Sanders.
Now, let me be real with you. Look, I have been researching about NFL for the last 7 to 8 years deeply, and what I think is this. Sanders is way too good to be collecting dust as a backup. His arm talent, lethal. His composure, ice cold. His decision-making, already advanced for his age. He throws laser passes with confidence, like he's been in the league for a decade. Coaches talk about football IQ. Well, Sanders doesn't just pass the test, he writes it. And when you watch him play, you can't help but wonder, how long will the Browns hold on before another team comes calling? And that's where the whispers start turning into headlines. There's already talk of a trade, because NFL insiders know the truth. Keeping Sanders buried at QB4 is not sustainable. A very good source even mentioned that some within the NFL discouraged teams from drafting him. But then, someone called the Browns directly and said, take the chance, draft him. And they did. Now the question shifts. If Sanders was worth drafting against that backdrop of resistance, then how on earth is he worth stashing as an afterthought? It's a contradiction that doesn't sit right, and fans can smell it from a mile away.
Shedeur Sanders is going to end up getting traded. He will not be with the Cleveland Browns for long. You can bank on that now. I'm telling you, Shedeur Sanders is going to get traded. He's not beating out all those guys in the QB room to start within the next 2 to 3 years. This year, next year, the year after that. So pay attention now. The Cleveland Browns now have Deshaun Watson, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dillon Gabriel, and Shedeur Sanders.
We talk oftentimes about quarterback being the most important position in the sport. We obviously spent a lot of time with Shedeur throughout the process. He's highly accurate, can play well from the pocket, very productive college career. And, we felt like it wasn't necessarily the plan going into the weekend to select 2 quarterbacks. But, as we talk about, we do believe in best player available. We do believe in positional value. And, we didn't necessarily expect him to be available in the 5th round. And so we love adding competition to.
A trade would flip the script completely. Imagine Sanders walking into a locker room where he's not the 4th option, but the centerpiece. Think about Las Vegas. The Raiders are in desperate need of a young, electrifying quarterback who can energize a fan base starving for hope. Or picture him in New Orleans, battling for QB1, feeding off that Superdome energy, throwing to receivers who can actually stretch the field. That's not fantasy talk. It's a reality that could happen tomorrow if Cleveland decided to make the move. The truth is, Sanders is made to lead. He's not built to sit quietly in the corner of a crowded room.